I've come to these Arctic wastes to tell you about a pair of brothers whose work revolutionised the way we think about temperature. The younger laid the first cable under the Atlantic Ocean. He set up the world's longest-running experiment, and he found that there was a temperature below which you could not get. Nothing could ever get colder. The elder one worked out the physics of ice skating. They were the Thomson brothers, William and James. Although James and William never went to school, both went to Glasgow University when only 10 years old. James became an engineer, while William went on to study physics. James Thomson noticed something very peculiar about ice. It's very hard and brittle, you certainly can't bend it. And yet, if you go to Switzerland and look at the glaciers, they flow down the valleys with a smooth, sinuous movement going round the corners, so they must bend. They flow slowly, but they definitely flow. Now, he discussed this with his brother William, and he thought maybe there was something to do with melting going on. And William devised an experiment. Down here, I've got a bucket of water, which is just a heavy weight, and it's hanging on this guitar string, a very thin piece of wire. And this is hung over this block of ice. And you can see that it's cutting into it. Look, it's halfway through. The ice is continuous, there's no gap there, and yet the wire is at least halfway through it and gradually cutting through. And what's happening is that under the great pressure caused by that bucket of water, the ice is melting. It's not getting warm, it's melting because of the pressure. And he reckoned that must be happening with the glaciers too. As they come down and hit, say, a lump of rock, they'll melt a bit under the great pressure, and then as they get soft, because it's water, it goes round the corner and then it refreezes on the other side and the ice goes on down the valley. And what's more, that's part of the reason why ice skates work, because here I've got a very, very thin edge on my skate. And I calculate that if I put that on the ice and I tread on it with all my weight, I'm exerting a pressure about 60 times the atmosphere, which must tend to melt the ice into a thin layer of water, which is a wonderful lubricant, which allows me to sail along with a smooth, glidey style.